Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am Dheeraj Sarwaiya, a product manager at Meta with over 16 years of experience. I have been training for Meta PM interviews for years. This is video number 2 in our Product Sense question series. If you haven't watched the previous video, please do so. In this series, we solve actual product sense questions from Meta's PM interviews. If you want to watch more such tutorials, please like and subscribe. Today, we will dive into another popular product sense question asked at Meta. Design a group travel solution. I will begin by directly addressing the question. For information on structure, best practices, and common pitfalls, please refer to the first video. Link is in the description. Without further ado, let's jump into tackling design a group travel solution. Our table structure is ready. We start with our first column, what? So what is group travel? Three plus people. Is it for Meta or for Google or a stand-alone product? Let's assume in this case it is for Meta. What is the location? US or any other country? Is it for host? Because group travel involved two parties, host, which are facilitator, like travel agencies and hotels, or for travelers. Let's assume this is for travelers. Then let's ask about the platform. Is it for web, app? Let's assume it is for app. Why? Why does Meta want to build this product? Why would their users care about this? To understand Meta motivation behind this product, we should consider their mission. Meta earlier mission was build community and bring people closer. Recently, they added a technology part, build the future of human connection and the technology that makes it possible. If you don't know this, you can either make assumption or ask the interviewer. We also know that Meta's business model depends on users' engagement. That's how they make money by showing personalized, relevant ads. This suggests that Meta may want this for several reasons, fostering connections, boosting engagement, and likely gather data to enhance recommendations. Now, think from users' perspective. With over 3.5 billion users, Meta apps are primary platform for connecting with friends, sharing updates, photos, and videos. Group solution, travel solution would seamlessly integrate with these existing use cases and user expectation. Now, let's understand the who part. We cannot build our solution for everyone, so we must identify one core group. Let's brainstorm our user segments. So we can have a friends group going together for travel. You can have family groups, special interest group like hiking, photography, road trip, etc. Then you can have corporate event, and then you can have event travelers. So these are the people who go for like wedding, festivals, sports. Many people travel for like World Cup final of say football or cricket. Students traveling together. You have senior folks who are like 60 plus. You have a solo traveler. I'm going to remove this right away because this is not our main target. From a brainstorming perspective, you feel free to add whatever comes in your mind. But ideally, as I suggested in last video, limited to up to five. I'm going to remove student groups because they are very close to friends group. So I'm just going to remove that. And now let's go to our prioritization. To prioritize, stabilize, clear criteria. Don't overcomplicate it. A simple set of criteria such as frequency, market size, and say intensity of need. Based on that, now let's start with like corporate event. corporate event. Attendees travel together sometime, but rarely plan jointly because different colleagues, different life stages, they basically have their own thing. They generally attend an event, some leave immediately because of the budget or family constraint. I would say little integration of professional and personal social media. Since this we are building for Meta is mostly for personal social media, it's not a professional network. So this may not be like very high priority for Meta. So from that perspective, we can say this is not our right target audience. On the senior folks, old folks travel so less frequently and often less tech savvy. They rely on family and friends or travel agents for booking and planning. So from that perspective, they are not our right audience. Now let's go to event traveler. Event traveler travel is driven by single purpose, like around single purpose. If you are going for a sport event, you will go to an event and then you probably leave immediately. These are also not primary focus group for us. So now let's jump to social interest group. One of the reason I'm not going to prioritize this because they probably follow a defined path. Nobody know each other. They are not friends. Because of this reason, they are not our main segment. For the family groups, they have a other channel of communication. They travel in a single unit. They're not that much dependent on social media for organization planning and all those things. The intensity of need is not there. Let's come to the friends group. Friends group generally travel more often than other group. People have different circles. Somebody has college friends, somebody has office friends, somebody has like childhood friends. They have different groups to coordinate with, more nostalgic about it. They do it more frequently overall. And then the intensity of their need is high because many times people are not in contact with each other. Finding them on social media is a big plus. If you find them on social media, which is relatively easy, then you can basically coordinate with them from frequency, size, and intensity. This is like important group. After knowing this, we will get into how are they doing it right now. Before I jump into this, if you are liking this video so far, please like and subscribe. If you want to plan a trip with your friends, generally you start with planning. Then you have your pre-trip arrangements, and then you have actual trip, and then you have a post-trip. In the planning stage, what is our goal? Our goal is if you ever organized any event or anything among friends, the one of the most important thing is forming, like whom to include, whom to invite, finding common friends, forming, and energizing. It's very difficult to keep people energized about your trip. It's very hard. So here the goal is forming and energizing, adding people, inviting people, and energizing them, motivating them. Now let's go a little bit deeper on this. What do we do when we are planning? We invite friends to brainstorm ideas, whether you want to go north, whether you want to go south, whether you want to try beaches, or whether you want to go for mountains or hiking, then researching places and what other activities, and then a lot of sharing, a lot of discussions, probably creating polls to build a consensus, and then creating plans. And while you're doing this, making sure people are excited. Because if they are not excited, one leaves, then another leaves, the third leaves, and then the plan fails completely. In the next stage, what is the goal? We want to do the booking, we want to make sure that we have the deal, identifying discounts, communicating dates and plans, purchasing tickets, budgets, monitoring budget, coordination around who is responsible for what. In the trip stage, the main goal is to have fun, feel connected, and stay safe. How do you do that? So, sharing photos, knowing the plan, keeping everyone updated. This also requires making quick decisions because sometimes the plan doesn't work. Then you have to make quick decision instead of going on a beach as we planned earlier, but now it's raining, so let's move to a secondary option available. And there's a lot of waiting. You have to wait for the bus, train, and food and everything. Keep energy high. They are connected, they are like involved. Now, in the post journey, the final stage is all about looking back at the trip. The main goal over here is to reflect and probably setting up the next trip. Share cool photos and videos, share the memory wall, maybe get nostalgic, get all nostalgic, jot down some reflections and thoughts, probably leave reviews for the places you visited or the restaurants you visited, fuel for the next trip. In the pain point stage, we want to know what can stop our user to achieve these goals. In the planning stage, getting ideas is difficult. Negotiating the vibe is a difficult part in the vibe. Best time to visit when you're doing research. Problem in doing research. What is the best time to visit? What to visit? What to visit? Whom to ask? There's a lack of centralized places to discuss, creating polls, store information. This also then leads to how to keep people energized. These are some uh, pain points during the planning stage. Pre-trip. In pre-trip, finding discount is a pain. Coordination is pain because when are you landing or when are you going to take cab from the airport? These things are like difficult in this pre-trip stage. And then the third problem over here is payments. Who is paying for what? You have somebody paid for cab, somebody paid for food. You have to make sure that it is clear. The trip stage where the goal is to have fun, you need to make quick decisions. So over here we talked about sharing photos and all those things. Many times it happens. One moment is captured by five members, and you want to see which one got it best, and then you want to share that photo with say rest of the world. And this become problematic if you don't have a centralized place. If one plan fails, then you should have like a backup plan. And then when you say you're waiting at the airport or for the train or in restaurants, you should have spontaneous activities, ideas which you can do. Now, in the post trip, the biggest pain point to share photos and videos and probably organize them under right buckets. How do you reflect? People are not very used to of writing down their thoughts. People forget a key moment. Sometimes people are conscious of when to start talking about next, how to create moments or memes or funny bit from this trip. So you can see that we covered quite a list. We went through each of the stages of our user journey, and then we tried to figure out what can go wrong or the frictions that can affect our goal. So on a criteria side, I would say size, alternative, frequency. You can come up with some other criteria. It is fine as long as you can defend it. If you look at this, there is a common thread, which is centralized place. It is also, like you say, the coordination is big problem everywhere. You see this even over here. I would prioritize this part, which is consistent across different stages. Another thing is payment is a big issue because it's very frequent in every trip. You have to do this. it's very difficult to manage payment. So we will try to focus on these two pain points. You don't have to go for two. One is also fine. Let's start with the solutions. Let's have a dedicated collaboration place where users can do the discussions, they can do brainstorm and polls. This is available in the Facebook groups. However, we can also add like a folder structure where you can have these discussions specific for locations or events or stages to keep these discussion separate. And then you can have also include like checklist for the group and for individuals. And then nowadays LLMs are very popular. Probably have LLMs integrated with the group chats. This would be like useful for doing quick research, probably coordination, and maybe like suggesting games or playing games. So as I said, like over here, there are a lot of waiting. The LLMs can help with that. Then we have a photo sync, auto photo sync features for group. Auto sync and probably tagging. People in the group, they can take their photo from their camera, but it go to a centralized location and people can see like what others are capturing. No more coordination required between people. Then you can also have live location updates for the group members. If you're going on hiking or in a crowded place, you would know where the other person is. This could be like lifesavers for large group. And then the another crazy idea which I can suggest is like group or audio channel. Whenever I watch Avengers or like these superhero movies, people talk to each other with a earpiece or something like they're right there. We can have audio channel where a group of 10 each can talk to each other no matter where they are, whether somebody is ahead or somebody is behind, and they can open this channel and talk to everybody. So this would be great communication and sharing jokes with friends. You can have a common virtual card for the group. So it's not that one person is paying everything, and then you can also have an option to split bills between folks. This will save one trouble of keeping record of who paid what. And then in a moonshot idea, I would have something from virtual group trips kind of thing where those who are not able to travel far, they can join a virtual group and they can virtually travel together. Could be like a 5 hour session of visiting a museum together, and then they're talking and like making jokes and everything, but they are in a different locations, but it feels like they're together. So this is like a good list. Overall, I think six is too much. Generally, five is good enough. Our criteria could be like aligned with a mission goal, impact, effort, or confidence of delivering this thing. Based on this, I would say starting a dedicated collaborative place should be easy. It's already there in Meta ecosystem. They would need these extra features, which I think are relatively easy and it has a higher impact. This would be my P0, which is like the first one. Since Meta is focusing on technology, I would go for this because this is a common trend nowadays and it's useful to have a traveling assistant between these things. I am not going to go with the audio channels because although it is a great feature, it may require a lot of efforts and people may have issue with privacy. So that's why I'm going to deprioritize it. Virtual card is a great option. You can also integrate with Meta Pay, and although it requires a little bit of more effort, but it will save a lot of confusion among friends. So I would go for this next. Between these two, I would prefer for auto photo sync because from the need basis, location still can be managed because you don't need this every time you go out. But when it comes to photo sync, even between the three friends or two friends, it become a pain point. This is how I will solve this problem. You can see that how we started. We understood what's the group travel mean. It is for which company, what is the location, It's for travelers, not for facilitator. And then we were focusing on app part. Then we got into why Meta would like to build this thing, and then why users care for something like this. We went through multiple groups and then we prioritize based on the market size and intensity of need and frequency. We prioritize our friends group. Then we go through the user journey, which is the how part. And then we got into the pain points in each stages. From that pain point, we prioritized. And then once we prioritized our pain points, we looked for solution for those. We ignored other pain points because, as I said many times earlier, we cannot do everything at once. So we need these kind of prioritizations to focus on one or two pain points only. And based on that, we came up with these solutions. And then the criteria and what you will prioritize first. I also have this extra row for a follow-up questions. Make sure that you finish all of this thing within 25 minutes or 30 minutes so that you give enough time for interviewer to ask you any follow-up question. Generally, the follow-up questions are related to matrices, and we will cover those in our analytical thinking part. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm going to make more such videos. So please like and subscribe. And thank you very much for watching.